but I'm definitely very honoured to be selected to do this. Of course, in reference to the MC who's clearly a superior one, but nonetheless, it's still an honour. So being best man for Danny wasn't without its challenges, given that he lives 900 kilometres away from me, but we did manage, not least of those challenges, which was the Bucks night, which was last Saturday night. Sometime I'll talk you through it, Danny. We had the Bucks night in Sydney. It was the hottest night in Sydney for about, I think, 500 years. Danny doesn't unfortunately remember too much of the night. But I have had a couple of calls from the taxi driver, who's now suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, from the fear of having the back seat of his taxi repulsed in an interestingly shaped purple. As I said, Dan, I'll talk you through that one some other time. So, I think Michael's already summed up a little bit, but certainly the choice of venue, I know there was a fair bit of time and effort went into selecting where the wedding was going to be. I do think it made an inspired choice. It's been a terrific venue. I know everyone's had to travel, but I'm sure for everyone here would agree that it's been very well worthwhile. There's already been a couple of posts already, but certainly I'd just like to add my comments that certainly you need it today. You're absolutely stunning. I'm sure everyone here agrees. The whole thing has just been a tremendous success so far. As long as we can wrap up these searches sometime before March. Probably. Okay, so Michael's given you some insights into Danny's childhood. I'm probably going to give you a little bit more current information.
Yes.
I've known Danny for about just over 20 years actually. As was mentioned earlier tonight, I did meet Danny playing cricket for Kenthurst Cricket Club, where we first sort of met. And we pretty soon realised we had a few things in common. Firstly, a chronic slice. A genuine disdain for off-spin. Love of a good Barossa red. 80s heavy metal, goes without saying. And as already mentioned, Pit Road on Saturday nights. And usually in that order. So these sort of things that we share in common, I think set the scene for us to have many memorable occasions over those last 20 years. Probably one of the ones that I would like to share, which was a really good moment for us, was in 1997 we went on a trip to the UK for a cricket tour. I think Craig, you were there, a few others might have been there as well. It certainly was fun. That particular trip, I think, brought to light some interesting things about Danny. What I noticed, he was right at home straight away in the UK. For those of you who don't know, Danny has this uncanny talent for being able to speak in the local accent and dialect of wherever he travels. If you get a chance sometime, ask him to do his Lancashire dialect and you'll swear you're talking to David Lloyd. The other thing that I noticed being his roommate on the tour was his incredible lack of organisation and tardiness. The first time this became apparent was actually on a trip to the airport to catch the plane. We had to knock on the door, wake Danny up, pack his bags for him, get him to the airport. We nearly missed the plane, but eventually we made it. I believe though that this is something that he has in common with some of his other relatives as well. But on this trip we also missed ferries, we missed buses to tour games, everything. The whole thing was a bit of a shambles.
It's difficult,
yeah. And I thought, more recent times, Danny had redeemed himself. Those of you who've attended his annual Kangaroo Valley Golf Day would certainly attest to the fact that there's a lot of effort in organising But today, he let me down. And I have to mention it. After dragging him out of bed this morning to prepare something, something that's sort of in the back of your mind when you have a wedding, the speech. By lunchtime, we still didn't have a speech. The computer ran out of batteries. Decided to email the speech to the venue here. But of course, the email didn't come through. So while Danny was enjoying his entree, I was over in the other part of the venue trying to download his speech. So I hope the speech goes well, Danny. I hope you don't mind. I've inserted a couple of extra recordings in there. I'm sure you'll find those as you get through the speech. So, I suppose, I'm going to get a bit of a roast. It is important that we acknowledge some of his stronger points. I'm sure that all of those of you who know him would know this, but Danny is very competitive, he's very loyal, he's intelligent, he's considered, he's generous to a fault, and very genuine. If I ever need advice on something, I know that I can rely on Danny for an honest and well-considered opinion, and I know that if I really need him, he'll be there to help. I think that's all you can ask for from a best mate. So here's to Danny. Now just a little bit about Danny's relationship history. It's been a bit of a tumultuous journey over the last 20 years. I'd often get a phone call, maybe an invite for a few drinks, maybe over lunch, where Danny would share with me some of his relationship strategies. My favourite one, and I'm sure you'll remember this in hindsight, was when he told me that his strategy for a particular relationship was that he was going to play hard to want. You might remember that. So while sometimes perhaps a bit misguided, I think in the end, it's obviously all worked out. He was on the right path, he knew what he was doing. In 2007 he decided to move to Melbourne again, and probably for some that seemed a surprising choice, but he had lived here before, and I think he genuinely liked the differences that Melbourne had to offer in terms of city life down here. And in that time, as has been alluded to this evening, he found the virtues of RSVP.com, some of which made me genuinely blush. But I think that as we've all come to find out, that was the catalyst for him meeting Anita, and we wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for the interweb. Go to the interweb. But one of the interesting things about the whole thing about that was I met Anita for the first time about 18 months ago, and Danny and Anita hadn't known each other all that long. They came up to Sydney for a party. And straight away, I was struck with their compatibility and their obvious passion for each other. It was clear there. And the other thing that was interesting is I wasn't getting any more calls for advice. In fact, the first time that I found out about the engagement was when he told me that he'd already proposed. And so I think to me that was testament to the fact that he was confident and sure about what he was doing. And there was no doubts in his mind, and that gave me a lot of confidence in their relationship moving forward. So well done to the both of you. So it's my part of my role to propose a toast to the newly married couple. Before I do that, I do have just a couple of words, very short words of personal advice from my own experience. To Anita, yes, sometimes it is completely necessary to drive like that. To Danny, never, ever argue with your mother-in-law. And on that note, I'd like to propose a toast to Mr. and Mrs. Danny and Anita James.